Hello again, Luke Bug, the Geek of Steel. Another special episode of the Podcast of Steel. There's no number here. How mysterious. And I'm joined again by the wonderful, stunning Mike from On the Shelf, the series. Hello again, Mike.
How are you? What's going on?
I'm okay. I've had some sleep. This is the day after DC FanDome. This is what we're here to talk about today. And I got to sleep at about 4 a.m., was up at about 8 o'clock because, hey, my body's fun. So, yeah, I was wide awake and started doing some blog work about it. But, yeah,
Okay.
we did episode 1 where I talked about what could be happening at the event. And now the event is over. Well, the first part, anyway.
The entertainment part, the television movie parts.
Yeah,
video game stuff.
I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I had a fantastic time yesterday. It was an event that I've been looking forward to for quite some time. I'd booked the time off work as soon as I heard about it. And right. I think, I don't know if you feel the same, but what I got out of it most entertainment-wise is the fact that we had a little Zoom room, a little place filled with a number of geeks from around the world who wanted to go to a Comic-Con together, which was a fun way of doing it in a time when we can't. So it was a very fun event.
We had a good time.
Some things worked, though. Some things didn't, I feel, with the actual event. It could have been done a few different ways. I mean, we'll get into that as we go. But it was fun.
Yeah. No, it was fun. No, the Zoom meeting was fun. We had fun as a group, as a crew.
We did.
Like you said, there were a lot of hits and misses, I feel with the FanDome, and unfortunately one of them, which I'm going to jump right on really quick.
That's fine.
I had to wear the S because there was a severe lack of it.
Yeah.
At the show, at this little virtual event.
Mm-hmm.
Save for a good 45 seconds to a minute's worth of Mr. Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Even though it was teased many times with the John Williams Superman the movie 1978 theme song, Christopher Reeve, the first reveal at one point, the shirt rip as he comes out of the revolving doors, and yet when it came down to it, we had 45 seconds to a minute of Henry Cavill, and then we had the Superman appearance in Suicide Squad Kills Justice League. That being said,
I mean, we're obviously, Mike and I are big Superman fans, but we are fans of DC Comics as well because we know without Superman there wouldn't be DC Comics. So we adore the family tree, as it were. But it's like having a big family holiday meal and not inviting the person that has been in the family for the longest. That, in my world. As you said, yeah, the music was there. We had the John Williams score. We had some Man of Steel music going on to build the excitement behind certain panels. But as you said, the only little bit of Superman that we got to see was an evil Superman. And the Suicide Squad were saying, well, we have to go and kill Superman.
Right.
One event that I was really looking forward to, it got changed a few days before the actual event, was the Superman Man of Tomorrow panel.
Yeah.
And the Superman Man of Tomorrow premiere.
It was a whole movie.
It was a whole movie. The whole movie, which is now today is the 23rd. It's released tonight at midnight. And
your midnight or my midnight?
My midnight. So like 5 hours after that. And it's a film that looks beautiful. It looks fun. I've spoken with Tim Sheridan on the show in the past. He's got a lot of love for this. And he did, He's probably upset. I've not talked to him just yet about it, but I'm upset that the world didn't get to see that. That was one of the most exciting panels that was going on, I felt. There was a whole sort of arena for Superman content. There was going to be that Superman radio play. There were going to be more behind the scenes, which are being moved later on in the month, in September. So another FanDome event will be happening, which is fun. I'll do the same thing again. I'll make another Zoom, but... Right. As with all that build-up by using the Superman music and not having any Superman content,
not pleased. There's rumor that they are going to one of the comics might be like how they did like the Batman 66 and the Linda Carter Wonder Woman comics. there's rumor that they're going to do a Christopher Reeve continuation in the comics, Christopher Reeve Superman, which that's neat. I'll take that. I mean,
It would be good, say, and if they did that, they could perhaps do some sort of tie-in where some of the money that the comic made goes to the Reeve Foundation or something like that to sort of tie it together. But
something.
Who knows? But we had fun. It was exciting to sort of. It started off with that Wonder Woman trailer, and which was we've seen some of the footage already. We saw a few new scenes.
You got a good look at Cheetah, which well, by good look I mean you got to see Cheetah in action. Did you actually get to see like like we've seen so many pictures of Diana in the golden armor? Did we get to see one of a full thing of Cheetah? No. Has there been leaked concept art of Kristen Wiig as Cheetah? Yes.
Yes.
Very good. I think that they're doing a good job with it. It's kind of does it tie into the original World War One thing, the movie? Yes and no, we said. It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't.
That's what I'm most curious about, is how that they're going to tie that in, with some decent storyline of how he is back. I keep having sort of random thoughts now. Is this going to be linked with the Flash movie and all this mad time travel? Probably not, but something has to be explained there of how he is back in Wonder Woman's life.
Weeks, maybe months ago at this point. Heck, I think I read something, whether it was a fan theory or whether it was, one of those leaked plot concepts, that they said that, what's his face through the movie, who's the bad guy?
Pedro Pascal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So his character has like something to make wishes with, and at some point somehow Diana gets a wish in.
Oh, okay.
And it's to bring Trevor back.
That could work.
Whether that happens, bro, I don't know. I read things on the interwebs. As long as it's not from "We Got This Covered," then
understood.
It's probably okay.
You said it. I didn't say it. It's fine.
That's fine. I'm allowed to say that I'm the guest. The guest can talk trash.
But it was a fun panel. I mean, obviously, in this day and age, we haven't got Comic-Cons as such, but they had a nice little visit from Linda Carter. I did get very excited for that because she is glamorous. And when I heard that voice say Wonder Woman, I could still hear her in the 70s show. And she's a guest. She's a dream guest for the podcast. I've had Susan Eisenberg, Linda next, and then Gal shortly after that, maybe.
Listen. Swing for the fences, baby. Swing for the fences.
As you always do say. But yeah, that was their first kickoff panel, and it started the ball rolling, and it did build up with speed. We got to see more panels. We got to see game releases. We saw that Gotham Knights first of all, which looked like an interesting game. I'm slowly trying to get back into video gaming. I have found it a good way to relax. I didn't think I would, because I get frustrated when these fingers and thumbs can't make the man jump over the spiky gaps. But it looked a good game combined with an interesting story. But again, no mention of Superman. Even though the next game they revealed was going to be, this Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. That's the one that it looked good. It looked interesting. But then the first real glimpse of Superman throughout that panel, he's holding up some sort of soldier, and then he just disintegrates in his arms with his heat vision. Quite a dark image, I won't admit to say, of my hero, but
I think it's a safe bet that, like, based on the footage that for anyone who hasn't at this point, by the time it's this thing, the podcast is revealed, it looks like they're under the influence of Brainiac, because the way that the city, Metropolis is all effed up. The Brainiac ship is above it, and he's got, I think does he have the purple eyes in it? I don't remember.
There's something.
He did, right?
In the initial sort of image they released, you could, if you zoomed in, there was some purple around the eyes. I was getting it confused with Bizarro because I was really hoping for Bizarro, but no, it was some. It would have been neat, but it's purple around the eyes. So yeah, I think it's going to be a Brainiac essence there, but it'll be an interesting game. I'm going to play it. It's DC content. I'm sure at the end of it, Superman will be back as a good guy. Fingers crossed.
Well, what I read, again, stuff I read, not from We Got This Covered, was that all the Justice League members are the bosses, and of those bosses, I forget if it was all 7 or not, but that some of them you do get to kill. you will like kill Aquaman, you will kill the Flash, but when it comes to the Trinity, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, you capture them.
Okay.
So that's
something.
What I heard.
Some little ray of hope. Some tiny little ray of hope.
Bro, I don't know. I just, you saw what I saw, and we all read a bunch of crazy stuff online.
That's it.
Fan
theories are fun, but they are just that. It's why I don't like to share anything anywhere until it's been released by DC Comics.
Right. Well, that's why it's okay, I feel like, in a forum like this to talk about theories and stuff, and even people who are listening to this right now, I'm like, oh yeah, I read that too. But to then, I feel, post stuff like that, either just as clickbait or whatever, is a person doesn't do their name and their website justice, no pun intended, if they wind up posting stuff that is just BS just to get the clicks and the likes and the subscribes and stuff.
Understood. And I appreciate. But there were lots of other panels, and each panel did bring something fun to it. There were reveals, there were little sneaks, there were trailers. The one that I really got excited for and really wasn't too aware of before was the Suicide Squad panel. Oh yeah,
that was, I think, apart from the one at the end, the panel at the end, which we'll get to at the end. That was my favorite by far.
It looks fun. It looks silly, explosive, and the panel together, all the cast there was lots of chemistry there, they made it fun. And then obviously they released the poster and some behind the scenes footage, and then it just blew up, and I was there for it.
Right. Every character they dropped, they showed who everyone was going to be. All of the speculation as to who, like, Idris Elba was going to be. Everyone's like, oh, Bronze Tiger, this and that. As soon as they showed that cover from Superman, from way back when, one of the first ones, Bloodsport, I was like,
it's going, awesome. He's doing his job, but and he's a filmmaker who has fun on set. He's not there with these very serious tones and piles of books and notes. He's got piles of comics instead. He's there trying to make sure that it is accurate to the story as possible. And I had a lot of fun watching Guardians of the Galaxy. So if he can bring sort of an element of that to this, I'm sure he will make it his own. I'm not going in to see Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going in to see Suicide Squad. But what we saw looked exciting.
Funny about that? You know what's really funny to me personally about Guardians of the Galaxy? And again, it was very, very entertaining. I'm obviously, I'm not really a Marvel guy. I know the characters. I can have a conversation with somebody about this stuff. But I know that Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic books, are not nearly as lighthearted as the movie was. I feel like Suicide Squad, at least personally for me, is well, yeah, it's grim and gritty and Task Force X and all that other stuff. It could be very like this, but Suicide Squad to me seems a better vehicle for Gunn's type of humor and his directing. But this seems it's a good cast, and Guardians had a good cast and it was a good movie, but I feel like this is more Gunn's gonna have a better time with this, I feel, and he's gonna do very well. Costumes are all pretty much spot on.
Goodness me, yes. They look,
costumes were legit.
And even sort of explain that the effects crew, they put more effects into this one movie than he did.
Explosions and stuff, yeah.
More explosions, more real explosive sets than the first and second Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think over the upcoming months we're going to see a little bit more footage from that. But just seeing them all together, just these very eccentric characters, both on the screen and off the screen, from all different countries around the world. It's going to be a very fun mix, and I'm looking forward to seeing the blooper reel for that film.
Oh my god! And it was nice that Margot Robbie is still Harley Quinn. I know a lot of people didn't like the Birds of Prey movie. I was not one of them. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought they did a good job with it. You've had some of your guests who were went on scene, not necessarily as consultants, but they said they liked it. I know for a fact that somebody screenshot Margot Robbie, with the rocket launcher in it, and they posed the question to Paul Dini, like, what do you think about? And he was like, that's a thumbs up for the people who are just listening to it. That it was he thought it was good. Like, it's good for somebody who creates the character to be like, well, Margot, it's a character that's constantly evolving and constantly changing, and like what Zack was trying to do with Superman. With his Superman character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone's like, oh, Superman wouldn't kill. Well, they could have really called Man of Steel Superman Year One. For all intents and purposes, they could have called it Superman Year One. Like, sorry, yeah, he screwed up a little and he killed Zod, and he probably wouldn't have done that, you know, like by the time he was Justice League Superman. But, you know, people make mistakes. Yeah,
there's a learning curve. I think in every new origin story of a Batman film, when he first puts on the suit, he makes mistakes. He falls off a roof. He hits the wrong person. Everyone can make mistakes apart from Superman, which is a dreadful way to sort of address someone.
to justify homicide, but no.
Potato. You know, one or the other.
Somebody's neck, you know, save the kid out of a tree. You know,
or a cat, one or the other.
But yeah, listen, kids can get stuck in trees too.
They can. But yeah, the Suicide Squad, that reveal and what we got to see of that was fun. Then obviously there was stuff for Black Adam, all sort of artist impressions by the wonderful Boss Logic, who has just gone on leaps and bounds over the last couple of years. But
so proud of him. Forget about it.
He did make that print, I think it was late last year, of Henry walking away. It was the homage to that Spider-Man cover with the suit in the bin, and he was there with his wonderful dog Cal by his side. I'm very happy for him because he's very passionate, again, across the board, whether it's DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney. He likes to make artwork suitable.
He's a fanboy.
And he does it very, very quickly. Yeah. He's a very talented guy, and I've seen some of the comments that people leave on his tweets, and he deals with them wonderfully. He is about his craft, and he believes in his work, which is fantastic. But yeah, Black Adam with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's going to be insane.
The dude's a brick house. Dude, like him, just like in the fake background, the fake you know ruins of a civilization background, or wherever it was they were supposed to be. I don't know if it was supposed to be Kandahar or wherever, you know. But like, the man is just a moose. It looks like he ate, you know, the Rocky Maivia from years ago, like when he first started in the WWF.
Yeah.
And like,
but what got me was like he was wherever he is on camera. He's normally sort of in the thinnest t-shirt possible, yet he is still like an absolute tank. So if he's gonna at some point take on the Shazam family, as it were,
the Shazamily,
it's gonna be insane. I'm not too sure how they would go up against him, but
not well.
No, but that was a well done panel. It was more reveals. He got the crowd excited, as it were, and then name dropped Superman towards the end of it in the hopes that maybe one day they're going to share screen together. Again, it was another tease, as it were, but I think it was 2 years ago now. Henry Cavill and Dwayne sat down together drinking tequila, as he's always drinking tequila. And that photograph just blew up the internet with speculation. It was like, are they doing it? Are they doing a Fast and Furious 17 together? Are they doing something else? But I would love to see Henry Cavill and Dwayne together on screen, because their chemistry and their work ethic off camera would be just incredible.
Oh yeah!
Imagine the workout videos for that. That's just gonna
be... I don't want to. I'm my back hurts just thinking about them, to be honest. But it was nice though. Like, the one thing I will say is that they did show who was going to be Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
Noah something. I would have liked to have seen who was going to be Hawkman, who was going to be Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
You know, there's rumors about who was supposed to be putting on the wings or putting on the helmet, but like, it would have been nice to just see, like, you know, get that little bit more.
A little bit more.
Because they know.
They know. Of course they know. But it was more, I think, not only sort of a little way to celebrate Dwayne's career, but it was a fantastic portfolio for Boss Logic, of just him getting together with Jim Lee. This was months ago when he was able to travel from Australia to America and help out. But now, obviously, he's in that position where he can just go to his office, which is a fantastic office, and just doodle and create images now. He has gone from somebody that was creating fan art, and now he's sort of creating art for the films that he grew up adoring. So proud for where he is going, because he's only going to go further. But in between panels, there was a few sort of little adverts for other things and little fluff pieces. Some were hitters, some were misses. There was that Kevin Conroy voicing Batman, and doing
Kevin Conroy, Will Friedle doing commenting on the Adam West Batman at the alternate Earth, if you will. They were watching an alternate Earth Batman, and it was basically, as I said, like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 type commentary.
Yeah, but crossed with Beavis and Butthead. That was what it was. That elements to it, and it was enjoyable. But
it took me a second because at first I was like, all right, they're just rehashing like footage, and it looks stupid. And then like once you started like actually listening to it, once we stopped, trash talking, like what the hell is this? And you listen to it, and you're like,
okay,
that wasn't so bad. Okay, I get what they were doing there.
I mean, it's a difficult. I mean, undoubtedly, there is a lot of work gone into this DC Comics event, and there are people that have worked on it when they've got other jobs to be doing. It's just, I think people went in with a lot of high expectations. There was this map of different places where you could go throughout the day whilst panels weren't happening, like an actual con. So it was down to you to make the schedule of where you have to be. If you're not there, you're going to miss out, sort of thing. And I was excited. I would have changed rooms, as it were, when some things were happening. I would have loved to go on and see some of that Superman radio play. I would have gone off and seen some more cosplay and some more fan art. But they put a lot on their plate, I think, when it came to it, which is why it's now been split into another date in mid-September. Yeah. And I think the majority of the people that virtually went to the DC FanDome had a fantastic time. But as I said before, I feel because we were there as a group with friends from around the world, we enjoyed it together, and we could mute and unmute people when we wanted to.
Like Dan.
Yeah, sorry, Dan. I kept leaving him on mute for most of the evening, but it did bring the masses together. Twitter especially was trending all night for lots of other stuff. But
the Flash panel is another one.
The Flash panel was insane. Again, we didn't get to see much. We saw some footage. It was all, again, images. But
concept art.
We saw Keaton.
It was concept art of
easily
Keaton. Of the new suit.
Yeah.
And actually the voiceover of it was that Batman has built him a new suit, and as they showed that, it was the new suit with a very Keaton-esque Batman standing over him. So it kind of goes to show potentially where I think they might be headed with that. I don't know. It's
going to be... Well, and now they're saying Affleck is in it now, so Affleck is back. That has been officially released. This is not rumour. This is not clicky bait. That is fact. And I think the internet blew up about that as well. Yeah. And again, that panel that happened at the end of the night, it could have taken a bit of light away from that. But Ben only answered, I think, one question, a fan's question. He didn't sort of appear on camera. But the Snyder panel is what most of us were waiting for throughout the night. And
it's unfortunate that the trailer got leaked a couple hours before.
It did, sadly.
Zack was not happy.
No, but a few other clips and photographs did leak as well. So somebody on the inside is probably in quite a bit of hot water for that. Yeah. But the Zack Snyder Justice League panel was fun and mind-blowing, and that is what most of the internet was waiting for, I feel, yesterday. Apart from Tasmin, bless her, the aspiring Kryptonian. We all watched it together, so we all sort of muted each other, and then we watched the trailer, which was fantastic. We got to see so much more. Immediately, you could feel the different tone for what we saw originally, and by the end of it, we were all sort of mouths open, head in hands, and Tasmin, bless her, was in floods of tears.
And Millie.
And Millie Millie left as well. Millie was in cosplay, another member of the League of Steel. She also played the John Williams theme on the flute.
She did.
Yeah, more than...
once you unmuted her.
Yeah. But again, that was more Superman content than we actually got from DC FanDome. But...
God, I know. One day, we can all be optimistic and hope for the best.
But
the Snyder cut, the trailer, we were told that it is going to be either released in the 4 1-hour blocks, or as a movie.
Yes.
A chunk, a whole 4 hour movie. That's sick.
I could do a 4 hour movie easily. But he did mention as well, which was good news for the international fans, is that he's working on ways to get it around the world, not just for HBO Max, which for some reason is not available outside of America, and yet. But there will be there has to be a way that gets shared out, because
it'll happen.
Yeah,
it's in everybody's best interest. Especially like like you said, 4 hours is a long time, and I think the only other 4-hour movie I've ever sat through and enjoyed was Kenneth Branagh's version of Hamlet.
Oh yeah,
I'm a Shakespeare guy.
Yeah, I know. I like this. See, it's all coming out.
But it was very good, and there was the intermission in the middle of it. I got to be honest with you, bro. I could probably sit through the whole shebang of the Snyder cut in one. I can't drink though. I can't.
That'd be too much.
This has to be like. Yeah. No, this is like
minimal intake.
I'm not a soda guy. Yeah, I'm not. I've not been a soda guy in a while. I'm trying to stay in cape shape, as we call it. But I would have to do like the Cheetos popcorn now. That's a thing.
Okay, I need to get that in my life. So it's
Cheetos popcorn.
It's chips, but they're smaller.
Well, no. It's they include the Cheetos.
Okay.
But then it's also the popcorn is dusted with Cheetos dust.
I love America. I truly, truly do.
And we have some neat stuff.
You certainly do.
But the food is magical.
I bet it is.
Especially if you love heart disease and diabetes, it's fantastic.
But 4 hours. I mean, I think most of us in our time, when we've had the odd day to ourselves, when we've binged something on Netflix, 4 hours goes past pretty quick. Yeah, that's like half a season of your favorite show. It's those half-hour implements that just build up over time.
Lucifer just dropped. I'm gonna probably do that with Lucifer. Say goodbye to a Friday.
Bang them all out. Get them done. So I feel when that does get out and everybody can see it, I've been doing what we've been doing online with the watch-alongs. I'm going to sit down, though, first of all, and to absorb it all in, I want to just be focused to the screen and watch it by myself as if I was in the cinema, and then a watch-along would be amazing, because we did see some more footage of Henry in the black suit.
Fighting Steppenwolf.
Yes. And it's not going to be as bright as the Whedon version, I don't feel. But
the Justice League,
that's it. But there was lots more scenes. It was all the stuff that people wanted to see. They wanted to see more of Cyborg. There was some intense stuff going on there with his father. It looks awful.
I mean, Zack has said from the get when he first came out with this movie that Ray Fisher's character of Cyborg, Vic Stone, was going to be the ties that bind, the glue of the Justice League. Where in the animated series, if you remember, it was the Flash. But in this one, it was supposed to be Cyborg. And what did you get to see? That he was sad because he was a robot? That's really what Joss kind of relegated him to. This is more of like you get to see the attack mode, because that was in the trailer, like when he goes full, the scene, like you said, involving his father, which his father had a very decidedly different fate in the Justice League. But you get to see the football scenes in this movie now. I mean, this is Zack's really gonna pack a lot of stuff into 4 hours.
For 4 hours, well,
he's got the footage.
He has, and he can do it. I mean, when given a blank canvas, he can make what he wants to make. That tone was evident there in that trailer. That it was completely different. And again, another version of Hallelujah. Some of the internet didn't like that song being used again.
Not like that song.
It's a song that's been used many, many times over the years. That was a good cover in Shrek. Was it, I think, Rufus Wainwright? I'm not too sure.
Maybe. Somebody's yelling at their radio or their screen right now.
It's probably Maureen.
And it's probably Maureen.
Yeah. But
sorry, Maureen, we love you.
It's a good song. It's a punchy song. It's a song that some people don't know. Most of the internet do know it though, and it felt right with the visuals that we were shown. We didn't get any plot storyline as much because we know what the plot is. We don't need
general gist of it.
We don't need to have that shoved down our throat. We know what's going on. We know there's a battle. We know there's a black suit now because we saw it, and there was that one moment when the whole league were together on that cliff top, which just looked beautiful. I've got quite a few screenshots from that saved on my camera when I'm allowed to share them. But it was great that Yes, it did get leaked, but we sort of made a pact in the group. Said we're not watching it.
I didn't watch it.
We're going to wait till we're supposed to be watching it. We're going to wait for Zachary to, introduce us to it, to his story, to his creation.
This is on his terms.
Exactly,
we should watch it on his terms, not on some doo-doo who decided to drop it on YouTube or Twitter.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will get tracked down to some extent. But that was...
Liam Neeson's going to find them and murder them.
I will find you. I will. But yeah, that was an exciting panel, and we knew we were getting that trailer, but just not as much of it. So I'm very excited for that. And again, 2021 is literally just around the corner. So much stuff is coming out. It is coming around the corner.
Freaking March lasted 80 days, dude.
It was a very long March. I think we locked down 2 days after my birthday in the UK, and I was like, okay, this is different. This is new. And then March finished about a couple of weeks ago, I think. So is it still my birthday month? Do I still get to go out?
Might as well, dude. It's like the reset button. 2021, I think, will be everything will come back. You'll see cons come back because everyone's already scheduled for the new cons.
Yep.
Movies you'll be back to sitting in a theater somewhere, and things will get back to. I hate the term new normal. I hear
that every day. It's just the new normal. It's just the new normal, isn't it? Stop saying.
I'm gonna wear my underpants on the outside. That's the new normal.
I'm down for that.
But it's things will get back to some semblance of normalcy as to where we can go hang out at a convention. We can go to the pub for a pint, even though I'd rather Jack Daniels. And we can go to the movies and eat Cheetos popcorn. They will be back.
Yeah.
They'll come back in some way, shape, or form. You'll be able to go to a DC fandom type event in person. It would be in their best interest, Warner Brothers, to do a DC type fandom type event in person, like San Diego does. Well, like D23 now.
Yes.
They should do something.
But
like that.
I think now that they have, well, they've got a new platform of doing it just on the internet. They've seen how much it was. It was very popular. It was a huge event. Nothing has been. Some cons are trying to do virtual Comic-Cons. It's not worked too well, but they went in a big way with obviously all the promotion for it. They sent out wonderful boxes, which were very kind. Thank you, DC UK Comics, for sending me that. And I think they just may have put a little bit too much on their plate. But
it was a lot. I think they had good aspirations as to what they wanted to accomplish with this. I think, but when it came down to it, like all these panels that we're talking about, for anyone who hasn't actually watched or listened to it, the panels, the bread and butter panels that we were all waiting for, Shazam, Flash, Suicide Squad, they didn't last very long. I don't know how long the panels actually were. The Snyder panel was a little longer. The Flash panel was a little shorter. The Shazam panel was a little shorter. But those are the panels that you wanted to last 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Those are the ones that you wanted to be like, okay, well, why don't you talk about, Zachary Levi, talk about your experiences on Shazam, and then let's talk about, instead of him saying, well, I can't tell you about this, and I can't tell you about this, and I can't talk about who's coming on, but I can't do this, but I can give you the title.
Yeah. It's very long-winded. It was a good reveal. They did it a fun way.
It was cute.
They spent more time on Sinbad than they did on the actual poster.
And it was kind of funny that they did that whole Mandela effect, that they talked about it, because obviously for anyone who's aware or whatever.
So many people were not of that. So many English people were like, "What? Who's Sinbad? Like the sailor? Who?"
Right. The Voyages of Sinbad and the Seven Seas.
What?
I've seen those too. But it's and anyone who doesn't know, it talks about how there's a theory about how there's an alternate series of events. Like, remember Sliders? Mm-hmm. How certain things happened in a way that we don't quite remember. Like this children's book or series of books called the Berenstain Bears was spelled differently. Small things, or how some people remember. It's called the Mandela Effect because some people remember Nelson Mandela as dying in prison. And then others remember him, obviously, clearly, which is history of him not dying in prison and him being released and him living, the rest of his life out and then dying, at an older age. there's just so many things. If you Google that, you could see all these crazy things that people were, Curious George not having a tail or having a tail, like crazy stuff. And that's where it came from. And I think that was really more targeted at an American audience than an English or non-American audience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of who Sinbad is. I know Kazam. He did another film called House Arrest, I believe, something like that. It was like clean comedy for families back in the mid '90s. Good stuff.
He was a family comedian. He really at least his shows and stuff. When he was on that show A Different World, which I loved. And then Kazam, that was the other thing. It was Kazam or was it Shazam? Yeah. And that was with Shaquille O'Neal. So that's the one that freaked me out. Was like, was it not Shaquille O'Neal being in a film about being a genie? But that was it. But people remember it as being Sinbad. That was part of this Mandela effect.
Yeah.
That's why that's where all this came from. So it was kind of funny that they addressed it, but like you said, they spent too much time on it.
Yeah.
Kind of like probably how we've just been talking about it for too long. it was too much time for something for them to literally just say again. And you and I heard different things, just like this stupid Mandela effect. We either heard Theory of the Gods or Fury of the Gods. But it's Fury of the Gods.
It is.
Right.
But
that's the same thing.
What I adore David Sandberg as a person and as a director, and just the things that he can make in his own home are so creative. He's animating, he's making video projects just for the heck of it. I feel that
media stuff.
he could have created something for that event and revealed that poster in a bit of a different way. I mean, I love Zachary Levi. He's a fantastic guy, but he's got contracts. He has to play by the rules, bless him. But I feel that they could have done something a bit more creative from their own homes, I feel. I mean, Zachary's got that huge ranch out in the middle of nowhere. You could have done something there in a suit or just like a store-bought costume. Something goofy, like he is on the screen and in real life. But it was a fun panel, but I feel it was building up to something else. And we didn't get it.
Everyone's been dying to know, and again, I'm going to go back to Superman again, and those people who are listening can roll your eyes at me. But again, we were expecting a Henry cameo because it's people feel that there's gonna, even though Black Adam is only gonna be a cameo, people feel that there's gonna be some sort of evil Superman, and there was gonna be maybe a Henry Shazam fight. Something. People were hoping.
Yeah.
For something Henry related, and that we thought that was going to be the big reveal. Was it going to be your Superman's going to finally show up in this one, other than just a stunt double? Like what was going to happen? And we got.
Yeah, we did kind of feel a lot more hopeful. I feel that at the beginning we had much more. Oh, it's coming up. It's the Justice League panel now. He's going to turn up. He did turn up, but just most probably. It was filmed in London where he was, so he's probably just having a day off from The Witcher. He had a hat on, so he probably had just taken his wig off or he'd done something else. But as Superman fans, we did have a very fun time. We were entertained, but as always, we wanted a little bit more light shown on our hero, which we didn't get. But we had fun.
But it's okay.
Yes, and then sometimes there were games being played in between. There was something done with the Wonder Woman panel that I didn't understand what was going on.
Some sort of werewolf something. I don't know.
That's when we all.
Millie said that it's an online game and it's neat if you're playing it, but then listening to somebody else play it sometimes, especially, is not as neat.
But then
the surprise panel. There was a surprise panel, which was not quite the surprise that we were hoping for, but for anyone familiar with Milestone Comics, there were some fantastic characters that were that came out of that. Static being one of them, or the most prominently or well known of them. You had Icon, which was basically a version of Superman. Hardware, which was a version of Iron Man. So there was a lot of neat characters that came out of that universe. So the fact that they're bringing it back in one shape or another is pretty neat. Not quite what we were expecting. We were hoping for that Man of Steel announcement, but
because I'm sure there was going to be a surprise movie panel.
Right.
I'm sure I read that somewhere, but
I did too. Again, was this a Mandela Effect thing?
I'm going to have to sort of go back to my original podcast before this one and listen to it, because I read off the whole press release. I think there was a lot of other Superman stuff, as I said. There was even going to be some footage from Smallville back in the day. There's going to be a mini documentary about that. But as always, there was about every other clip was about Batman. The voices behind Batman, the actors behind Batman. There was a whole segment of the fact that Batman is dubbed in different voices around the world. Every film is dubbed in different languages. It's not a big deal. It's on Netflix. You can have Spanish.
Folks, this isn't hating. Just so everyone's aware. It's not.
It was a long day for me. Okay. Right. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then it was a long day. But I like Batman. Dan, if you're listening to this, Daniel, you should be.
You better be listening.
I found a few of the panels very entertaining. It was there to help build the excitement for the next panel that would be coming. Mm-hmm. It's just that I think I was a little bit upset when they started changing things very last minute, because
they did.
Nobody wanted to do that. That was, I'm sure, a very stressful situation for all of the people at DC Comics. And they did try their hardest to put on an entertaining day, and I feel that was a success.
They did a great job. There's so few times I can say with complete honesty that DC and Warner Brothers, when it's come to DC-related things, has not promoted well. Their movies, their superhero movies being, top of the list for me. Like, there's been a lot of times where any of the movies have not been promoted as well, and they did a great job with promoting fandom, even down to these lovely boxes that DC and DC UK provided for social media influencers and people and whatever. And there was a lot of good that was done with it, but I feel like then, like you said, there was a lot of stuff that was changed last minute that left a lot of people scratching their heads. Like, who's going to turn in? I mean, I'm probably going to be one of them, but who's going to turn in tonight or tomorrow morning for this Man of Tomorrow panel? When the heck can you listen to this Tim Daly Superman radio serial thing?
Yeah. So I'm hopefully they're going to add most of it to the next event, which is going to be in September.
I hope so.
I'm finding out some news next week, so when I can share news about it, I will be promoting the heck out of it, because I want people to go and see the panels that they might have missed out on with the first half of DC FanDome. And look, this was a huge event, and it's never been done before, and I would love to see it happen again. Yeah. Comic-Cons in America, like San Diego and New York, can sometimes be very, exclusive. And for somebody that lives in a different country, it's not easy to, first of all, take that gamble of buying a plane ticket and then putting everything at risk to see if you can get a ticket for the actual con, because I know that some people have to get the plane ticket before that. It's
hotel accommodations.
That's it.
Everything that goes with it. It's a lot. It's a lot to be able, especially if you're not from the tri-state area or not somebody who has an inn or a niche somewhere, to be able to get it. It's tough. So to do something like this, I think, was a great idea. I'm part of me is a little relieved that they didn't do the whole thing in one shot, because I'm not sure if servers and all of the technobabble stuff would have worked out so well. Would it have crashed?
I feel, as soon as that Snyder panel began, everyone would just be going straight to that. So you've got to think, that's a lot of pressure on one, again, internet googly stuff. I don't know how it works. But it's like trying to put too many people into an elevator. It can't be done. That's how I envision it. Right. But if they could do this every year of some sort, I feel that it could be good for them. Like just a DC event where they talk about what's going to be coming out over the next year. Right. Like they used to do back in the day with you could find out from a certain source of, this year we've got these films coming out. It was the Hall H of Comic-Con of San Diego, and they did use Hall of Heroes. They used those H's there, and there was a lot of potential. And I think most importantly, what will have happened is they would have learned from their mistakes, which is something that we all should do. And I think they're going to take that into consideration and try harder next time.
I hope so. Like you said, it's all about the hype, and the hype machine, the hype engine was in full throttle.
Oh yeah, no, we were still very excited for a lot of it, including finally we can talk about it. That final panel, Batman.
Now people have been crapping on Pattinson, for a long time. The same way that people were crapping on Affleck. They're like, well, he did Daredevil, and Daredevil was trash, so he's going to be a shitty Batman. Pardon my language, folks, and I will stop using the language. But people were like, he's going to be a really terrible Batman, so there's no way that he's going to be good. And then he was awesome. And people were like, well, he's better than Bale. And sorry, he's better than Bale. The end. I'm saying it. I said
that's why you said it. I'm tweeting that out. It's going to be good.
I'm the guest.
It's great. It's a great soundbite. I'm using that one. But I love Bale. I love Affleck. Yeah, I love Keaton. Clooney's okay. Kilmer. Was there supposed to be a Kilmer cameo yesterday? Was someone saying that?
Dan said it 1,000 times he was waiting for Kilmer. Was there? I don't know.
Mandela again. What the hell? But the Batman panel, we were all waiting for it, and it finally came. It wasn't dragged out, I would say, but it went on longer than it should have done before we got to see the trailer. But we did learn a lot about the film. The fact that a lot of it was filmed in Liverpool, which was there is some fantastic architecture in Liverpool, and so I'm very keen to see that and how, that trailer because we haven't really seen anything. All we've seen is leaked footage, really, of a motorbike going through a graveyard in the north of England, and we've seen a few images.
The logo, the chess piece. Mm-hmm. The teaser of parts of his costume. Yeah. People crapped on the gauntlets. They're like, oh, what the hell's that with the gauntlets? And now to show it. And I mean, listen, the fact to me, as being a child of the late 80s and 90s, the fact that they busted out a little Nirvana. Yeah. Just how often do you hear Nirvana in a trailer for anything? So that was, to me, and it was done, and they edited it, of course. It was very haunting. It was very, Something in the Way was the song, and it was beautiful. It was beautifully done, and the costume, when you get to see it in all of its
it looks very sleek though. I mean, it doesn't look heavy and chunky, and we get to see him fight, and the boy can throw down in a big way and without holding back at all. So, got very exciting for that, and the tone of it looks. Yes, it looks dark.
How many people were expecting him when they said, "Who are you?" Were expecting him to say, "I'm Batman."
Yeah, I think they did that.
100%. They did that.
And then he said, "I am vengeance, but not I am the night." But
no, just I am vengeance.
That was it.
And that was a lot. That was more than I think everyone was really expecting him to say, "I'm Batman."
But again, I think it's either 1 year or 2 years into him being Batman, so he's still he's a rookie. He's a baby. This is new to him. He's not found his way yet. So, but I got pumped for that. It was a very, again, so many of these films have been put on hold while everyone deals with COVID. So for them to make something out of the footage that they've got...
25%, I think they said, of the footage.
That's
all it's been.
Can you imagine what the rest of it is going to look like? It's going to be insane. And
Can we talk about how, what's-his-face look, Colin?
I did not recognise that. No, not at all.
I was like, who's the dude? And then someone did the freeze frame, and they're like, I can't recognize him as the Penguin. And I'm like,
that's Colin Farrell. And I mean, about 10 years ago, he was like one of the pretty boys of Hollywood. I mean, he still is now. Obviously, that's a lot of makeup and a lot of work that he's done for the role.
Prosthetic stuff, right.
But God, it was haunting though. And obviously, the Riddler aspects to it. We saw a little bit of a Selina. We saw him as a very young Bruce, but it didn't give too much away. I mean, they couldn't because they haven't got any footage to give it away, but it left us wanting more. That was enough to wet the whistle of the internet and to shut up a lot of naysayers. As you said, those people that are saying, oh, it's Pattinson, he was in Twilight.
He's going to glow as Batman. He's going to twinkle and sparkle. Nah. Listen, again, people pigeonhole themselves into thinking him of only as Edward Cullen or whatever his name was in the movies. And he's done so many other pieces of work since then. And some people have pulled screenshots of him as other characters. I would never be able to tell you I've watched any of his stuff, but he could be a Bruce Wayne. Look at him in this picture. He could do this. Have you watched him in this movie? He can act. And it's nice to see that he's, even despite his sound bites of him saying, well, I'm not going to work out a lot for Batman, and I'm not putting a lot of preparation into this. I think that people misquoted him.
They take a lot out. Of course they do, which is idiotic. But one of the most exciting things about it is my sister. She knows nothing about comics, nothing about this world that I live in. She's been a huge Robert fan for years. She is for what I love about Superman, she's the same about Twilight back in the day. Bless her little socks. And she watched it this morning, and she was really excited for it. And she was like, "I want to go to the cinema and see that with you." And I was like, "Awesome! I can take you finally to see a film that is neither about Disney or vampires." That's great. So it's a lot of people are going to be thinking differently, and that's what I feel the trailer should do.
110%, because it's the Batmans are supposed to be dark, and they've said it's going to be more of a detective type.
Hints of Seven, they said, like the movie, which is
well, I mean, if that was supposed to be the Riddler with wrapped up in duct tape or masking tape, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Which is like, first of all, I don't like it when I get masking tape or duct tape on my arm. This dude's got it wrapped around his face. Like, does he have eyebrows after they take this off? Like, what happened?
That is commitment to the bit. That's what that is. That's he did it once and thought, "Oh man, I've got to do this every single time now." He went out once without his mask and passed a hardware shop, and he was like, "Oh, masking tape, that'll do it." Now every time he goes out,
his makeup people were so happy. They're like, "This is easy,"
so,
and they're done.
8 hours in that and then taking it off would be very fun. But yeah, they ended it. I thought they would have ended it with the Snyder cut, but I admire them for not, because obviously, that was a film that's already been out. So, excuse me, they didn't want to take it away from anybody that has worked on the Batman. So to have that as the finale was a good way to sort of really get the internet talking, and that's when everything just went crazy online.
Yeah. I mean, it was they spaced it out. They spaced it. Because I feel like the bread and butter, I mean, they went like in threes. They did Wonder Woman. I'm off camera, but they did Wonder Woman in the beginning. Then they hit Justice League, and then they did Batman. And all the other stuff, let's really be honest, again, was filler. The Aquaman wasn't really a talk of a sequel. It was more just kind of James Wan and what's his face, Ocean Master.
Yeah, just talking about Wilson. Is it Patrick Wilson?
Thank you. Talking about their experiences on Aquaman, not really talking about anything new. The Flash, again, Ezra Miller, for better or for worse, people could say what you will about how he's a little eccentric. He's a little, I know that he had that issue with the con where him and a fan got into it, and people were really pushing for him not to be the Flash anymore. Again, I don't know all the facts about that. I don't think anybody does. I think there was a lot of stuff that was taken out. But the man, as I said last night, is a fanboy. The fact that he was dropping everything by saying Flash fact first just goes to show. I mean, was Wally West. Oh, yeah. That was Wally West's entire run in the beginning. Was everything was Flash fact. So the fact that he was able to do that and say it, it wasn't because somebody told him to. Hey, Ezra, you should say this. Because even in previous interviews with him, he knows about the Speed Force. He talks about this.
He's fascinated by it.
He knows his stuff. And I'm curious to see how they said that this director's take on Speed Force is going to be very different.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to be interdimensional. We're going to be seeing other stuff. Is it going to be space involved? Is it going to be just time involved? It's
as long
limitless.
As it's not what they did on the television show, I don't care.
Well, he's been in the TV show, which was huge.
Which was really that was like, and bro, we've talked about this. I wish it was somewhere on tape of me predicting that they were going to do this many moons ago, before Wally even and Barry in the television show at some point ran through and they showed the different clips, Reeves Superman and Keaton's Batman and Carter's Wonder Woman, and you're like, oh crap, it's all connected. I figured for a long time they were going to do this.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see that they're really now. He went on the show and he kind of established that the multiverse includes
everything,
the new movies, everything,
TV, awesome. Movies, comics, bringing it all together. And that is what they're saying. The multiverse is going to be DC's biggest weapon in their arsenal. Is the fact that they've got that now. They can work with it. They can pick one from the other and sort of either keep it canon or they can intertwine new things and
say it's a new world,
make it canon, and that's it. So lots more potential for the future, which is what we want. We want more things to keep happening and stories being told. We just want a smidge more Superman. That's what we want.
And by smidge, he means a lot.
I do a lot. I'm only greedy when it comes to Superman. That's where everything else. I'm very forgiving. One more thing before we wrap up this interview. at the beginning of this podcast, you've been on the show a few times, I introduced you a different way. And so for the people that aren't in the know, how dare you not know?
How dare you?
How dare you not know what Mike is getting up to now? And that is...
Okay, so when I first dipped my toe into the superhero world, other than just somebody who liked to go to cons and stuff, I started a jewelry company, Cape Justice Jewelry and Collectibles. And I, for better or for worse, featured a lot of pins and other superhero type merchandise. And certain things over the last, what are we in, September now?
Mm-hmm.
Over the last, let's say, 10 months or so, 11 months, have made me, at least for the time being, go in a different direction. And part of that direction now has been, thanks in part and parcel to the Long Island Comic Guys and doing a live Instagram show with them, has been to now bring collectors of all sorts. Right now it seems to be mostly focused on the superhero and Disney type collectibles things, but I'm open to all sorts of different collections. But I'm bringing collectors on the show, such as yourself, and episode coming soon, episode 10. And we're talking about the collections, and this isn't just like, hey, I've got a lot of cool stuff, look, everything's really expensive and I'm awesome. This is like, why are you collecting? Why did you start collecting? What pieces in your collection mean something to you? That's really we are, for better or for worse, sometimes as fanboys considered to be very passionate, but we get a bad rap. And I've said this off camera many times to different guests. We get a bad rap due to certain television shows and cartoons and stuff as being the people who live in our parents' basements, who play World of Warcraft or Minecraft or other things, and aren't necessarily passionate about anything other than eating ice cream out of a container. But that's BS. We're not that. We are passionate about our collections for a lot of reasons, and you came on to talk about why pieces in your collection mean something to you. I've had people talk about why they want certain parts of their collection to potentially see family members or see important events in their family members' lives. Things people have gotten stuff from relatives or friends that are no longer with them, or what something meant in their life. That's what I want to talk about on this show. And it's as much a human interest piece as it is about why you collect, and also what you have, because people have neat stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's not just like, look, I have a bag. It's well, what was in the bag? Why did you have the bag? What does the bag mean to you? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. And yes, we recorded my episode earlier on today. I had a fantastic time, but it's a show that I've loved since the concept. It's why I enjoy getting people to come on the podcast and talk about their passions, because when people start talking positively about the things that make them happy, you see them come to life. You see them, there's also this thing, and there's also this thing that I really, really love. Why do you love it? Why does it mean that much to you? And that's when you push the questions a little bit further, and you find more out, not only about the thing that they adore, but the person who collects it. Not only the collection, but the collector. Right. So I had a great time coming on, and all your links for that are going to be in the podcast section below. But Mike, again, thanks for coming on the show. It's always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing who you get on the show next. I've got a few people that I think would love to come on, but if you feel that you've got a collection that you want to talk about, send Mike a message. He's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. All the links are down below. I will be back soon with a brand new episode of the Podcast of Steel, and that will be coming out very soon, and I will be speaking with Art Baltazar, and that was a very fun episode to record. He's an absolute sweetheart. He's eccentric. He's charming.
And he's got an ascot.
He's got
which is bomb.
He's got a huge wardrobe of just different outfits of what he wears as well. And he's passionate, and he's had so many hurdles put in his life, and he has smashed through every single one of them. And I think you're going to enjoy that episode as much as you did this one. So if you did, please leave a comment below, review, subscribe, do all the good things. I am Luke Bug, the Geek of Steel. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm still working on MySpace, coming back. I feel it's going to make a comeback pretty soon.
Bringing it back.
That's it. But have a fantastic day, and I'll be back soon. Michael, thank you for coming on.
Folks, thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.